All right, welcome to our descent and approach into San Antonio. Landing at a municipal airport just outside San Antonio called Stinson Municipal. This is very interesting because I think it's going to be the first approach and landing I've done that's there's no precision approach, there's no non-precision approach, there's no GPS. There is an RNAV, which allegedly I'm following, but I'm completely ATC guided right now, which is a first. So you're going to see with me descending below 18,000, so we got to adjust our altimeter. 29er, 9er, 9er. Anyway, I figured this was probably a safe place to try this because the airport's at 500 feet, there's no mountains. Had to tinker with the flight plan a little bit for various technical reasons. You can see there's still a remnant of a direct-to plot that I entered into a waypoint on our route called RUBE, R-U-B-E, but ATC kept saying, no, continue to STV, which is right here, Sierra Tango Victor, as planned, and so I didn't want to skip STV. I wanted to follow ATC's instructions, so I plotted in STV into the FPL flight plan, and then we're headed to RUBE. But you can see this sort of aborted entry into the FPL flight plan on my part. I don't know what to expect, folks. I really don't. But I figure it's a clear night, it's flat, there's no mountains, and if we have to dump it, the IFR and do a visual approach, that is a reasonable option. No icing issues at all. Anyway, the usual tension. There really is something to be said for flying into an airport where you know everything's all programmed in advance, ILS, and so forth. I still am not exactly sure what runway I'm going to land at. How's that for confidence inspiring? The test here is, will ATC, and it's shocking that I actually don't know the answer to this question yet, will ATC vector me in to an approach, to an actual runway? I don't know. I figured, as I said, that this was the safest place to find out what might happen, because, as I said, it's flat and there's no mountains and the weather's perfect, and this airport, KSSF, that I'm landing at, is south of San Antonio International.
Airtree Whiskey Bravo, contact Houston Center on 120.6.
Going to 120.6, Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Going to Houston Center.
Houston Center, Docker November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo is out of 11,800 feet for 9,000 feet.
Docker November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo, Houston Center, continue to reuse as planned. Altimeter 29.9er.
So you heard her say, continue to reube. I like to think that says rube. I think that's more amusing. We'll see what happens here. I'm not too anxious, just because if I have to go old school and just do an old school ILS approach, I will. According to the VFR map. Here's our approach. Right now we're headed to Rube, then from there to KSKF. I entered this as a waypoint because the previous plan had me going from Rube straight to this Felma, and it was like a 340-degree turn. I mean, honestly, it was like going this way and then bang, this way, boom, and it just felt like that wasn't a plausible turn. So I added SKF, which is an airport, as you can see. I don't actually know the what airport it is. Only because I felt like, well, we'll be well above it for the overflight, and it gives us a little more maneuvering room to make that turn. You should have seen it before. Like that. It's crazy. Anyway, we're leveling off at 9,000. What is KSKF? I'm curious. We got San Antonio coming in here off the left. I'm going to go and give my device priority here just so we don't get that stupid bandwidth warning. Because that's very frustrating when that happens. For reasons I'm sure you can appreciate. So, give my priority for 1 hour. Giving my device, my PC, priority for 1 hour. That's I have to be careful about when I do this because it just elicits howls of protest from my children. Everything seems to slow down. I mean, when they mean priority, they really mean it. When they say priority, they really mean it. Just curious, what is KSKF? SKSKF. Just entering this into my Kelly Field, a landing field in San Antonio, Texas. All right. Well, maybe I should have landed there.
Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo, you are 1 miles northwest. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 27 approach.
27, okay.
Maintain
All right.
present heading and altitude. Expect vectors visual runway 27 approach. Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo.
Okay, 27 approach. KSKF is dead ahead. That's not our airport. But you can see that's Kelly Field, what we'll be flying over. I'm speculating that that's our airport. But I could be wrong. It is. It is. It's in line with where we're flying, I think. No, you know what? Wait a minute. I don't know. I stand corrected. We're turning left. Let's see if we level out. So there's a lot. There really is a lot of experimentation that's involved in learning this stuff. I mean, it's not. If it were easy, everybody would do it, right? Airport, 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 airport. But again, in weather like this, conditions like this, I've been, because ATC is so buggy, I've been sort of on the fence about trusting it. Only about 9 minutes, apparently. 10 minutes from landing. But anyways, I was saying, it's been so... ATC's been so buggy, and you know, in real life, it wouldn't be buggy. There's no such thing as buggy ATC, I wouldn't think, in real life. But it makes me cautious, you know, hesitant to trust it. But this just was sort of a happy accident because the weather's perfect, clear night, beautiful clear night in San Antonio, Texas. Planning on...
Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo, contact San Antonio approach on ONE 25.7.
25.7. David Whiskey Bravo, good night.
125.7 for Delta Tree Whiskey Bravo.
I'm going to contact San Antonio approach
San Antonio
now.
approach Delta November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo, 9,000 feet.
Dear Center November Tree 43 Whiskey Bravo San Antonio approach continue as planned. Altimeter 29.999.
Altimeter's unchanged. Anyway, as I was saying, a good way to practice and to learn is to do it in good weather. And lucky for me, beautiful night in Texas, San Antonio, Texas tonight. And hopefully that'll keep us safe. San Antonio KSAT, San Antonio International Airport. Here's us, just off about our 2 o'clock. We are, at this point, 13 nautical miles, 12 nautical miles from Kelly Field. The nice part about this approach, assuming it holds, is that we're going to fly past our airport. It'll be, after we pass Kelly Field, we should see KSSF Stinson right off our left. Should give us some spatial orientation. And then remember, 270 is our approach, so which is due west, exactly due west. So I'm kind of curious. I mean, I know how I would approach from a VFR perspective a landing like this. You know, make left base, how to turn final, etc. I don't know. Right now they're holding me at 9,000. I don't know if they're going to clear me to continue to descend. But at this point, the good news is we got good weather. Even if I had to completely dump the IFR right now, I could do a VFR approach into this airport. So, you know, that's reassuring. Stinson Municipal. So I'm actually not worried about whether we're going to actually successfully land. I really do have, and continuing to develop, a real love for this airplane. I mean, my 3 Whiskey Bravo. I've flown this thing everywhere. If you've watched my other videos, you know. I mean, literally all over the place. There's downtown San Antonio right there. That's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Wow. Assuming that's KSAT out there. A lot of airports around here, man. Anyway, you can see on our simulated, visualized depiction here, right down there is the airport that we're flying over, KSKF. We had quite a bit of weather coming out of Jackson Hole, Wyoming. Ceiling was pretty low, but we had the first, I don't know, 2,000 feet after takeoff was clear, but then we were in the soup. All the way up to 31,000. So I believe that's our airport right there. Here's 270. That's the landing threshold. So we should be landing here in about 5 minutes. Right there, headed due west. I'm certain that's our airport. Anyway, yeah, it was icy and completely IMC. Couldn't see anything. So it was, and we were turbulence, and it was really bouncy. But it's apparent to me that we've got some ATC problems now because we're not being vectored down and we need to be descending. So I'm going to cancel IFR at this point, just as I expected I probably would have to.
San Antonio approach Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo would like to cancel IFR.
Who knows? Maybe they were about to say something. Maybe they were about to say something. I don't know. But listen, I'm at 9,000 feet and I'm on top of the goddamn airport. So yet again, we got issues.
San Antonio approach Tower November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo Bravo is type Doppler TBM 9 3 miles southeast of Kelly. Request flight following.
God, I have to sit through all this bullshit.
San Antonio approach. Squawk 6365.
Okay, so there's the
Squawk
airport.
6365 Doppler 3 Whiskey Bravo.
So I'm about to turn.
Dare 3
Oh,
Whiskey
shut
Bravo,
up.
3 miles west of Stinson, 9,000 feet. Altimeter 29.908.
So I'm going to turn on our. First, I'm going to sync the heading bug.
Copy
Then I'm going
Doppler
to
3
turn.
Whiskey Bravo.
Oh, Jesus. I'm going to turn the heading to.
Tower Doppler November 343 Whiskey Bravo is 3 miles west with Mike to land.
Oh, that's interesting. It knows to go to the
Dare
tower.
November 343 Whiskey Bravo Tower. Fly left traffic runway 27. Altimeter 29.908 wind calm.
Okay, this is good.
Enter left traffic runway 27 Doppler 3 Whiskey Bravo.
Now, the only downside is that I'm like way, way, way too high. So we're going to have an extended downwind here. I'm going to slow down. And we're going to descend down to 3,000 feet, which at a 2,000 feet per minute descent rate, which I realize is steep, will bring us down to our needed altitude at 3,000 in 3 minutes. Excuse me. Anyway, so we're going to do an extended downwind. Excuse me. Wait. Yeah. Downwind. Yeah, downwind. And then we'll turn, we're going to go like this. So you see here, let me put it on this bigger screen. So here's the airport, right? And the runway is 270, which is due west. So we're flying. I've ordered the airplane or used the autopilot to direct the airplane to fly due east, which makes sense, right? It's the opposite direction of where we want to land. Once we get down to an acceptable altitude, which I've deemed to be 3,000 feet, we'll turn left base and then turn left again for final. So, you know what it is, right? I mean, remember I was in college once and I was going in to take an open note test, and my professor, I sat down and I realized I didn't bring any of my notes. And my professor, I went to him and I said, "Professor, I didn't bring any of my notes, and it's an open note test." And he says, "Take the examination. Just do it. Solve the problem." One of the best lessons I got in college. Start to have some meltdown, and it's like, pull yourself together. Figure it out. Sit there and cry about it, you're going to solve the goddamn problem. And that's what I'm trying to do here. It definitely helps. I can't put it in how clearly, I can't put it clearly enough how much it helps to have useful, adequate navigational aids. I mean, it really makes a tremendous difference. We are 9 miles from the airport, which is plenty of time to finish our descent. So I'm going to shallow out our descent. I'm going to turn heading. We're turning left base now, okay? Going too fast. Turn on our initial separator. Put those landing lights on. And we'll put the gear down in a minute here. But we're going too fast for that now. Okay, gonna keep turning, keep making our left turn. Obviously, due north is the base course. And you don't want to overcorrect. You don't want to turn too far left, which I may have done, I don't know. Because then you'll, I don't think I have. Because then you'll, I think I see our airport. Then you'll have to turn back in the other direction. Yeah, I see it. I got it now. Okay. All right. Our runway, remember, is 27, which is the same as 270. just dealing with some technical issues here. We are a little bit not where we should be, so we might have to shoot this again. Although if I see this, I don't know, see what I see, but that looks to me like all right, well, this is a challenge. This is a challenge. It's so easy to get spatially disoriented. I'm going to hold us at 3,000 because I love this plane and I do not want to have any problems. So, you know, it's interesting. I mean, we're 7 miles from the airport. By my math.
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo cleared to land runway 27. Wind 164 at tree.
Okay, well we got landing clearance.
Clear to land runway 27, Dr. Tree Whiskey Bravo.
This will be a fun one to study later. 7 miles. That can't be it because I know this airport to be a cross-directional runway airports, and this appears to only have one. It really is interesting. I mean, you can see how a pilot could get, you know, disoriented. I'll tell you what I'm going to do, just to take the mystery out of it. I'm going to do direct to. No, that's not going to work. If I do nearest airport, KSSF, direct to, activate. Oh, no, look, we are right on it. Look at this. I gotta not have such doubt in my, where is it? Activate the nav. This is fascinating. Let's slow us down even more. Let's put the gear down. What? Oh, I see what happened. I know what happened. We're on top of it. There it is. Yep. One runway, the other runway. Well, okay, you got to see it with me. All right. Hey, listen, I'm the first to admit. We're going to descend to 1500. We're going to disable now. Try this again. I'm glad you got to see this with me. Gear up. Let's try this one more time. Descending. I just don't want this to happen again where we have trouble with finding the airport. So we're going to turn due south. Okay. Listen, what's the object of the game? To keep everybody safe. Now we're going to turn due east. We're not descending, and we need to be. See if I need to re-clear to land.
Tree Whiskey Bravo, cancel landing intention.
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo, your cancellation is received.
There really
Landing gear.
is
Tower Down November 34 Tree Whiskey Bravo is 2 miles south with Mike to land.
an unbelievable
Dare November 34 Tree Whiskey Bravo Tower.
advantage
Runway 27.
to
29.9 wind calm.
airport familiarity
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo cleared
with.
to land runway 27.
Okay, we got clearance again. there really is an
Make
unbelievable
left base runway 27 Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
advantage to knowing an area. I mean, I can't tell you. I don't know this. I've never flown in this area before in my life. It really is incredible what a difference it makes. Anyway, left base means that we want to have airport on our left side. When we turn this way, the airport would be on our left side. So I have the advantage of seeing this red or magenta approach line, which I'm going to use to my fullest advantage and just try to model that this time. I'm glad. Look at the cars down there. That's awesome. Huh, that's cool. Anyway, I'm glad that this happened because, you know, you can just automate everything. And I'm not knocking anybody that likes to play this sim that way, you know, because there are things you can do in this game where you just like fly me to the next position. To AI, take over the landing. I don't want to do that. I like to. I like the challenge of trying to figure it out. So, again, though, I'm not knocking people who like to have it automated. Not everybody wants a challenge like this after a long week. Okay, and we're going to put our gear down. Yeah, after a long week at work, it's like, who needs all this aggravation? Current heading right now, 319. You see, here we are. We're going to head this way and then left. And hopefully have a less dramatic... There's the airport over there. So, I'm going to cancel autopilot at this time. Put down our flaps. Both of them. Sometimes you just have to fly the plane. So I have the runway in sight now, the airport in sight and the runway in sight. Actually, that flyover at 3,000 feet was useful. It really helped give me some perspective. Airspeed's perfect at 85 knots. It was useful to be able to actually see the airport, you know, when you've never been in an area before. Confirm our altimeter is 29908. Flaps are deployed. We got 3 in the green on the landing gear, and I have the runway in sight. I do see it. It's right here. Well, I think that's my first missed approach, which was a sort of an unofficial missed approach. I don't know if I follow the published procedures, but I would kill for a Vasi or a Poppy right now. But luckily the weather's good. No winds. That's fortunate for us. Just about to be wheels down. 500 feet, 8GL. No useful information in terms of my glide slope that I can see. Although I do see a little white light right next to the runway. That might be useful. I've seen this at one other airport before. I don't know if that's the same thing, but if it turns red, I'll know that it's giving me glide slope information. Wow, that is one dark runway. Why do I feel like I'm landing on a runway that's not really a runway, since there's absolutely no lights on it? Holy mackerel. This is a first. Oh, I see why. Because there is no runway. Oh my god, am I glad I realized that. I don't want to do a third approach. Come on. Let's get on the ground. Oh my goodness. Let's get those reversers on. Well, friends, that was perhaps the greatest last second save
Whiskey Bravo, turn next taxiway.
in the history of my flights here in this sim. Let's see. Well, I'm not getting any guidance. Let's check. Stop. Ah, okay. Gotta backtrack. Well, I have to tell you, that was... I gotta use my rudder pedals. That was epic. Oh my god. I almost...
Whiskey Bravo turn, next taxiway.
I almost landed at a non-existent runway. I gotta tell you, that would have been ugly. You know, you really can get... Let me bring the flaps in. You really can get incredible just sort of confirmation bias, and you think you know where you're going, and you feel like everything's okay. There's no run. I don't see any runway lights, but it must be okay because I'm going the right direction. What actually happened right there was that I
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo turn, next taxiway.
oh, they're all pissed off at me. What actually happened right there was I saw the heading indicator down here, and I saw at the last second that it said 253, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm landing at 27. So I know that can't be right. So let this episode of the ongoing adventures of 3 Whiskey Bravo be a lesson in not assuming things.
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo exit runway when able.
I got you there, Cochise. The risks of landing at a airport
Dare Tree Whiskey Bravo contact ground on 121.7.
with which you're unfamiliar, but let it also be a message
Going
of
to 121.7 Docker Tree Whiskey Bravo.
let it also be a message of hope.
Ground Docker November Tree 4 Tree Whiskey Bravo request taxi to parking.
Because in all honesty, I did have
Going
to.
121.7
Oh, everybody's talking at the same time. This is fantastic.
Via taxiway Charlie, cross runway 14 Bravo.
Anyway, I did use the little I know about some of this stuff to solve the problem. I mean, we're on the ground, we're safe, didn't crash. Came within seconds of landing on a non-existent runway, which would have been embarrassing. And perhaps fatal. Seriously, I'm gonna have to rewatch this later. That, I'm like, I don't see a runway, but maybe the lights are out. And then at the last second, I thought, oh shit. At the last second, I said, oh Jesus. I am not approaching a runway. I mean, that's pretty scary. Anyway, I never claimed to be an expert. I gotta tell you that activating that direct to helped. Direct to the airport at the last minute, kind of confirmed. You know, it confirmed that was in fact the airport. Oh my goodness, this was quite the adventure. That's the fun thing about this game. I mean, it really is. You're constantly learning. I am anyway. I mean, I really learned a lot tonight about what to do, what not to do. I do think that much of my troubles are attributable to the ATC. Yeah. ATC bugs and stuff, you know? Some of the stuff would not have happened if the AI ATC was working.
Tree Whiskey Bravo, continue taxi.
I don't know, maybe that's the police coming to get me. Right. Left. Alright. Oh, holy cow. I also would say that another important thing that
Oral warning. Okay.
about that was useful was to be okay with trying another approach, or not, not trying another approach, but executing a missed approach and realizing, look, there's no way you're going to get on the ground in time. Try it again. Tried it again. Canceled landing intentions. Got new clearance to land. You know, I didn't fly the. I'm sure I didn't fly the published missed approach, but anyway. Hey, let it never be said that this game is boring. Those pulse lights show up more noticeably when you turn the landing lights off. Turn off AP trim, fuel selector to manual. Aux fuel pump's already taken care of. Depressurize. Mouse wheel, stupid. Fuel cutoff. Alright, I think we are done shutting everything down in San Antonio for the night, safely, despite my best efforts. And take that crash bar down in a second. I'll see you.